What's up, gorgeous? I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to another episode of the Fierce Framework, where we talk about becoming fierce through messy action, baby steps, and cultivating our confidence. I'm your host, Mary Beth. I'm a self diagnosed ADHD entrepreneur with a vision to see more women break out of the mold society tells us we're supposed to fit into and start living lives that we're excited about. My goal is to help other neurospicy entrepreneurs work sustainability and individuality into your business so that your business works for you and supports a life that lights you up. So I hope you find encouragement and inspiration in these episodes. Let's get into it. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. I have a kind of talk show style episode with a couple of really good friends, and we'll have them introduce themselves in a second. But we are doing this throughout the year on a variety of topics. So at the end of the month, you're going to see a bonus episode come in with my girls, and we're going to do a little talk show episode so you can get multiple perspectives on a variety of different topics. These women are amazing. I love our conversations. Like, I always leave these recordings feeling so so much like filled, I think is the word, right? Like, they're just juicy, right? So, without further ado, right, let me just let you find out for yourself. And I think you're going to love this. So, as always, let me know what you think. These will be bonus episodes at the end of every month. What is up, party people? So, today we have another episode of our group podcast conversation where we do kind of a little panel vibe with my friends Shauna and Mary. And I am super excited about our topic today. It's one of my favorites. We're talking about letting things go. So we're gonna channel our little Elsa vibes here. But before we get too deep into it, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Ladies.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Hi.
Shauna.
I'm like, who's first? Go ahead. Go ahead. Hi, I'm Shauna B. I'm with Ignited Decisions Coaching. I am a life coach for women to have burnout prevention and overthinking intervention. I have three kiddos with one bonus child. I'm a pretty busy mama and I love adventure and I love having this panel conversations. They're so much fun.
Oh, they really are. And I'm Mary Dibble. I'm a mom of three, a wife, and the life coach for moms, and host of Radiant Mom Rising podcast. And I just am really enjoy inspiring moms like this through these conversations and just really helping us to show up for ourselves and really become who we're meant to be unapologetically and just really, yeah, believe in ourselves. So just excited to be here again and talk with you girls.
I love it. I'm Mary Beth, not a mom. Uh, but my podcast, as you probably know, is the Fierce Framework podcast. And I'm all about just empowering women to break out of the mold society tells us we're supposed to fit into, start pursuing things that actually light us up and that we're excited about, and becoming fierce through messy action, baby steps, and cultivating confidence. So let's dive into our topic today. I want to talk about like how important and powerful it can be to let go of things and kind of let things fall by the wayside that aren't working for us anymore or that are getting in the way of what we really feel like called or pulled to do. Because I think that like it's so easy to collect all these things that we're like supposed to do, we're supposed to have, or like supposed to care about. And then we spend like all our time and energy just maintaining and keeping up with those things. And then so many of us, like somewhere around in our 30s, right? We have like, we take a step back or we like have something that kind of like wakes us up and we're like, I don't even like this stuff. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, is that relatable? Is that something that like you kind of had awakening or a pivot? And what were some things that you felt like you needed to start letting go?
Gosh, oof. You want to
Is
take
that
this one?
too like vague?
I like it.
Like,
No,
No, no.
I'm like,
Oh,
where do
yeah.
I want to start?
I know, me
like
too.
all at once,
It's
go.
like, go, Shauna, you go first.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. So I think there's just so many. My brain is like, do, which what do you want to do? Um,
Love it.
I think that for me, there's many like wake up moments, if you will, that are like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we can get stuck and not realize it might be somebody else's idea or expectation of what you're actually doing. And
Mhm.
until you start the thing and doing it, like you said, you get into it and then you're like, I don't even like this. You have to do it, right? You have to be in it and do it to know that. Sometimes you do because you
Mm.
might be following somebody else's expectation. And when when that happened for me, I had to like seriously check in with myself and see, is this mine? Do I actually like this? And then be
Mhm.
honest with myself and be like, no, but then being okay with stopping it because
Yeah.
I feel like you have to let it go in order to do the next step, which would be to stop it, right? Let go the
Mm.
expectation that's not yours to be okay with being done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
And it's easier said than done because you have to kind of unravel that expectation, even know that it's not yours. But we can get stuck there because you don't want to disappoint the person and you might not even know where it's coming from, but you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want them to think XYZ of you or like maybe like, oh, really? You're going to stop doing that? Or who knows? Like we'll make up a story because dragons
Mhm.
like to do that. They come in and make up a story for you to feel crap about whatever you're changing because it doesn't want you to do it. It wants you to be in the familiar, not the new place. That's scary.
Yeah.
But how freeing it is to actually check in, know that I don't like this anymore, and then working through being okay taking the step to stop doing the thing is so freeing.
Mm.
When you keep things that you don't let go, how I describe it is a ball and chain. You have a belt and you're not letting go of it. So just, okay, you don't have to let go of it. Just clamp that right onto your belt and keep walking. And then, oh, I'm not going to let this go. Okay, I'm going to clamp this onto the other side. And before you know it, you have eight balls and chains that are like, you're just going through life with all this extra weight that's
Mm.
Yeah.
not even yours. And it's
Mm.
almost like you have to give yourself permission to like cut the chain off and you feel so much lighter and then you can take more steps and now you're going to cut this chain off and you're so much lighter and it takes practice to do it but until you feel that freeing feeling that sounds too similar freeing feeling until you feel that
Yeah.
that's what gives you the motivation to start letting more things go. The first one's always the hardest,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then once you start doing it it's like pew 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 you can do all the letting go
So real.
Yeah.
that you need to.
Oh yeah. I feel like for me, like I've been doing a lot of identity-based work, and it's because I feel like
Mm.
we don't realize the versions of ourselves within each seasons that they get us to where we need to go. They help us get to where we are. But in order to get to the next step, you do have to let go of certain things that no longer serve you, that she's just not able to help you in the next part of you, next version of you, get to the next level. And that's
It's good.
okay, and I'm really learning that, you know, when you carry your past, like you say, you're carrying all those chains and you're also like blocking so much that's meant for you because you're clouding yourself. It's like in your mind when you if you look at it like I saw this example where somebody had a clear bowl of water and she put like baking soda in it. And she's like, you see how cloudy that is? But if you let it sit for a moment, you'll see that it gets clear again and that settles. And it's just how we live our lives where we just constantly put stuff and stuff and stuff into it. And especially when you live in the past, like that eats
Mhm.
away at you in a way that's like it's not serving you.
Mm.
What's happened is happened. There's not you can't do nothing about it. And I it kind of breaks my heart sometimes because I was there too, where it's like I allowed my past to kind of dictate, not even kind of dictate my behaviors, my
Mhm.
beliefs, my what I allowed for myself to believe is possible. And I'm so grateful when I started doing, for me, it was inner work child that really helped me to like explore that past version of myself, that
Hmm.
child, and give her what she needed, but also learn to let that go. And like I said, no longer allow that to stop me from believing that, you know what, yes, I may have had this struggle in the past, or I may have been on survival mode for so long, but you know what? It got me here. But now I get to
Hmm.
move on and do something else and be someone else and be a
Hmm.
better version of myself. So, yeah, that's kind of the work that I've been working on myself and helping to teach because I think it's so powerful. And us, like, 'cause we're always evolving, right? Life, you're always growing and evolving and looking to be our best. And that means like a big part of it is letting go of a lot.
I love that so much. Y'all
Yeah.
are geniuses. I also love how you both were talking about like the different versions and like Shauna was saying, you have to be in it to know you don't want it.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, it could be for a long time, I struggled with feeling like I was like wasting time or screwing up like every time I pivoted or like had tried something or invested in something and then decided to let it go. And I think that's part of, I don't think I'm the only one who does that, where like you don't want to let it go because you've invested so much in it. And what it's like a sunk cost fallacy or something, but like it's so pervasive. But being able to reframe it and understand that, like you were saying, each version of us is like part of the finished product. And like we needed each version of ourselves, or like maybe we needed the experience to understand, like, actually, that's not for me. And then you learn about yourself. So I think it's so powerful to acknowledge that you're not like starting from a starting point and then like trying something and then coming back to the starting point and then trying something else and coming back. You're building on every piece and every past version of yourself. Um, and I just like love how you guys painted that picture. And Sean, I love how you talked about how changing the behavior and like letting go of it, like mentally, are two different things. Because I've experienced that where like you can stop doing something but you're still carrying around like the weight of the expectations or like the guilt of not doing that anymore. And so you're still carrying it and like being able to understand that like those are two things and we have to let go of both, I think is so important to help to help that sink in.
Yeah. What what I would like to ask is like what is letting go for you guys? What does that mean? Like what does that mean? Like if we keep saying, "Oh, letting go." We know what it is because we've practiced it, we've done the things, we know how to do it in each of our way. I bet it's very different for each of us, right? But what does that mean to actually let go? What is it? What is that? What does that mean? I'm just curious what you guys would say.
I love that. Um, and I think that like I think it's an important question to ask yourself in different scenarios also because it can look different. I think there's sometimes when it's like you can just stop the behavior, right? And you're like, I'm just not doing that anymore. So whether that's like your kids' laundry and they're responsible for it now, or like making dinner every night, and maybe that's your partner's responsibility, or you hire somebody to do it, or like, some things you can just like stop. Like, I need this time and I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And you come up with a solution, or it just goes undone, like some people just don't fold their clothes and they have a clean laundry basket, or like, they just put it unfolded in a drawer and it's like you just stop doing it and you're like letting that go. I'm not folding laundry anymore,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
other things are a lot more complex and like ongoing. Um, and I don't know if like okay, this might be a bad example, but we're going with it. So not that like not having kids is like letting go, because like I don't want them. But I feel like it's a good example of an ongoing thing, right? So like I've decided I don't want to have kids. I've stopped the behavior of not having kids, right? Like I don't have them. I didn't have any to get rid of, don't worry. But it's an ongoing thing in the sense that you're continually dealing with the expectations of society and the people around you. And that's why I chose this as an example, right? So, and that's also why I love so much, Shauna, that you pointed out like the mental and emotional letting go as well. Because for a long time, like I was still triggered when people were like, "Oh, you don't want to have kids?"
Mm.
Like there was something wrong with me. And then like that would trigger me because like I kind of believed them and I was like, wait, what is wrong with me? Do you know something I don't know? Like what's wrong with me? And so like letting that go, be like, there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, there's a lot wrong with me, but like not that, right?
You're gonna
So
stop that.
like,
Stop that.
but when you don't believe it, it doesn't carry as much power. You know, somebody tells me like, oh, you have blue hair. I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, is my hair blue and start freaking out and internalizing it. I'm gonna be like, no, I don't.
Mhm.
Like that was weird. So when somebody's like, "Oh, you don't want kids?" like and they imply or say, like, "What's wrong with you?" To me, like letting go is I've worked through that and I'm confident that there's nothing wrong with me. And so like it doesn't have that, it's not a trigger anymore.
Yeah.
And that's like a much more involved process of letting go. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, you'd be such a great mom." Yeah.
Wow.
You're like, I'm going to
Yeah.
be a great auntie. That's what I'm going to
Yeah.
be.
You're
There you
like,
go.
I'm
There
an
you go.
even better Aunt
Let
Sheely.
yes, let her put a
Buckle
coach
up.
in it.
Yeah.
I love that because you're right. Letting go is there's so many different ways. Like I can't help it. My mind keeps going back to my teenage years, like letting go and deciding to not do drugs anymore. Like I was ready to get past that because for so long I think where I struggled was this feeling like I wanted to belong. I wanted to be
Mm,
accepted. And so I was willing to be do what all the kids were doing.
yeah.
It just lo and behold, I didn't realize how powerful addiction is. So, it's like, but you get sucked into these worlds. And even for me too, like letting go of the need. I, for so long, felt like I lived with the need to hopefully one day get closure from my dad. And I'll
Oh,
never forget like letting that go of being like, you know what? I've gotten this far in life without him. I don't need that. Whether he's alive or dead, whatever, if I ever do or don't see him again, like I'm good. That was a very powerful moment for me because I was one of those who took, had the daddy issues, and that
mm,
affected me for so long because I allowed it. But once I did that and forgave without needing to be face to face with him or hear
mm,
him or whatever, the freedom that came from that because it just I realized he no longer had power over me.
wow.
And that's a big part of it too. Like when we let go of the things that are holding us back, that are weighing us down, like it's the freedom from it is that they no longer has power over you. It will no longer
Mm,
dictate how you behave or how you show up or what you believe. And that's
mm,
powerful in changing your life and changing the outcome of how things happen for you in your future. Because again, we can't do nothing about our past. And what's beautiful about that is that even after making that decision, it was years later as I went on this journey even further that my dad did come back in my life unexpectedly. And at first I was a little taken aback because I, hadn't seen him in over 19 years. But what was beautiful about it was that I had the opportunity without needing that opportunity
mm,
to finally kind of tell him how I felt in a beautiful, loving way too, by the way. Like
mm.
the old me would have been like, F you and you asshole.
Right.
How could you have done this to me? Kind of, it's so cool how we evolve like that, though, as people by letting go, by forgiving,
Mm,
releasing, so that when those opportunities come, like we get to show up in the way we almost surprises ourselves and can be and create such a beautiful experience that would be ugly at some version of yourself. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that because it's really opened the doors for so much and
mm,
allowed me to just kind of be more in control too of like what I allowed and didn't allow and set those boundaries for
yeah.
myself so that I protect also me and the emotions I still somewhat, deal with when it comes to that anyways. But yeah, sorry, that's just a
No, what
No, I
a
love it.
powerful story, dude.
yeah.
And I love that picture of like, because I think it's so easy to think like, if I can just get this, like if I can get this closure, then
Yeah.
I'll be able to let it go, or then I'll be able to move on, or like it's so easy to fixate on something and be like, I need this to happen, and then I can live my life.
Yeah.
But how powerful that you were able to do that work and then completely change what happened when you did connect with him. Like, because like you alluded to, like it would have been so much different and
Yeah.
probably much less life-giving, or not that it was life-giving, I don't know, but
Yeah.
like a totally
Fulfilling.
different scenario
Yeah.
if you were waiting on him for that closure.
Yeah.
And you
And
probably wouldn't have gotten it, right? Because like
yeah.
we put these like expectations on people. Like, who's to say he would have handled that well, right? You're like, where the fuck you been for 19 years? And he's like, oh, excuse me, but like when you were able to like do the work, and then
Mhm.
you showed up as a completely different person and
Yeah.
like changed how that whole interaction went. Like, that's
Yes.
so powerful.
Yeah. It is, and it just goes to show, like, because I even my own mom, like, just, not sharing too much of her story, but there was someone in her life that did her wrong, that, he passed away before, and she
Mm.
never, I mean, and he was never going to give her the closure she deserved. But that's what I love about her, is that I taught her through my actions, even, and understanding what she saw, how I handled things. We have to let it go. We can't live our lives waiting for others to fix or give us what we think we need. No, give it to yourself. Give yourself that permission to, like, no longer let them have any hold over you. I mean, you're only giving them power by even carrying that anger and that resentment and that hatred and, woe is me attitude. Like, I hate to
Yeah,
say that, and I don't want to put anyone down, because I know there's people out there who've been through some horrible things that they didn't
yeah,
deserve, but you are giving them power if you allow it to affect your way of living. If anything, stick it to them and be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna live my best life, and I'm gonna show you you did not bring me down like you thought you were going to. That's power.
so good.
I think that for letting go, I think that it's easier when it's like a behavior or a routine, or,
Mhm.
you know, maybe I'm just throwing something out there. Like maybe you've been scuba diving for 5 years and then you're just like, I'm not feeling it anymore. And you can just stop. It's like so much easier to
Yeah.
think of letting go of stopping something and
Mhm.
not continuing it, and like maybe trying something different because it's like tangible, it's like a physical action.
Mhm.
Um, it could be the way you talk, communicate, like all of that is something that has maybe like an immediate validation back to you.
Mhm.
What I think is harder for people to understand letting go is inside the mental things, like the stories that you are telling yourself or have created, or maybe somebody else in your family's passed it to you. That could be another story. Or the filling in the blanks of having answers of the things that you don't have, or somebody did wrong you and you have hurt feelings and you don't have that, closure, or, maybe something has happened to you in the past and you haven't talked about it and it's been a total secret and it's just eating you alive on the inside. Like those things cannot be for you at all. They could not be for you anymore. There could be some lesson that you have taken from it, but holding on to that is like, going back to the book of Your Body Keeps Score. It will come out in some other way if you do not let it go. But it's
Mhm.
harder for us to think of what is a method or a way that you can let that stuff go. Like, what does that mean to let that go? How do you even do that? Because it's not a tangible thing. It's not like I'm going to throw this water bottle in the garbage, right?
That's a
It's
good
not
saying.
like a thing that you can do.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
for me, I'm a very visual person. I have to see an action happen in order for me to feel like I am processing it fully. And so for me, I have two ways that I do this because that was a struggle for me, is how am I supposed to let this go? If it's a mental thought, if it's a thing, like, yes, interrupting the pattern is always going to be your thing that's going to change the way that patterns are, paths are, wiring of your brain. Like interrupting the pattern is always going to change that. But then if you need to do a physical action in order to see the thing happening, and it's harder to do that with up here, there's two ways that I do that. One of them is thinking about the thought. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. It's going to be so great. So here we go.
We already think you're
Think
crazy. You're good.
So thinking about the thing, whatever that is, um, you know, like maybe somebody did wrong to me and I was struggling with it for a while and now I'm done with it and I want to let it go because it is not my problem anymore. I did my piece, I did my part, and that person is no longer, they're just not. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to let it go. So I will picture that person in that, situation, and I picture it as like this big, like cartoony, like dust bunny in my head. And I will picture it like almost like in a like a big old slide chute and I take a deep breath in and it is my job to blow this dust bunny away from me. So I will blow it all the way out, and I will visualize it going down this chute and then like basically like flying away from me.
I love that.
I love that.
And
Yeah, that's
I'll take two, like it takes me two breaths because it's kind of a long shoot. So like I'll take at least two breaths to like shoot it away from me is how I will do it if I'm like driving in a car or there's something that's really friggin' bothering me that I need to like, no, this needs to go out. This needs to go away.
Mhm.
This is not mine. I will do that. Or I will write it on a piece of paper.
yeah,
I will write it on a piece of paper and I will burn the paper.
Mhm.
yeah,
So then physically seeing the smoke rise and away is carrying that away from me are the two ways that I
yes.
do it because I know that I'm a visual person and I need that. And it's easier for me to see those things to actually let them go. Now, if you write something down and you have something like that and you're like, no, I did the thought process of letting go, does that mean it's never going to show up again? Probably not. It probably will, right? This is the main action of you. I am letting this go. This is giving yourself permission to let it go. Now, if it starts coming up, what do you practice? Oh, I'm sorry. That is no longer mine.
I burned it. Yep.
That's no
Mine's
longer mine.
I
I
love
threw
it.
that dust bunny away, or
Yeah.
I burned that. That's no
Mhm.
longer mine. Sorry, that's no longer mine because your dragon's going to come back and be like, "Oh, what about this?" You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
is this still in there? Are you still going to respond to it? And if you check it, it's going to be like, "Fine, I won't bring that up anymore." And then it's done. So it's
Mhm.
you kind of have to support yourself and back yourself up of like,
Mhm.
not for
Mhm.
me, not for me. It's
Mhm.
easier to do that if you have some type of practice or action of physically letting it go and then reminding yourself, nope, that's not mine anymore.
Hmm.
That's not
I love
mine.
that too. And like the fact that it comes up again doesn't mean that like you didn't let it go or
Yeah.
like you did something wrong. Like that's a totally normal part. And so just, and I love how you like use such gentle language. You're like, just support yourself through it. Like it's gonna come back up and that's okay. It's not because you did it wrong. And so like support yourself and reinforce your decision and like
Yes.
don't pick it back up.
Oh yeah. And it'll get easier over time too. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a very powerful exercise, by the way. Like mine's is the one I had with the meditation was a little similar, but instead like what it was is me like sitting and having that person in front of me and having the
Hmm.
conversation that I felt like I needed to have and being able to allow that conversation to flow in how I felt like I needed in order to feel healed. Like, so even though it wasn't like real per se, it felt real because your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not, right? So it's like, even if you allow yourself to put yourself in a scenario in a way that would make you feel healed, make you
Hmm.
feel peace,
Hmm.
that's part of visualizing and helping yourself to also like let that go. And like you say, I love that because it's always a gentle reminder as it comes back up, because of course it will, that you get to do of being like, you know what, I made this decision, so I'm good. And it gets easier and easier to the point that yeah, there's going to be one day that it's going to come up and it's not going to affect you at all, at all.
Hmm.
And that's,
Hmm.
oh, that feels so good, let me tell you, it feels so good.
Yeah.
You're almost like, that was weird.
I know, right? I know.
Next.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I
Like
exactly, exactly.
I love that too, Mary. I think it's so empowering to understand like you don't need the other person there.
Yeah,
And like you were saying, it's whether it's not a real conversation, right? But it's real for you and you're the one that you're responsible for. So
yep,
like that's what matters, right? So it's like if you're having that, role play with a therapist or whatever, or just like talking it through, like visualizing it, the whole like understanding that we can heal with ourselves, not
yeah,
by ourselves, not completely in isolation, but like without relying on the other person to ask for
yeah,
forgiveness or try to like, oh, it's
yeah,
so powerful because it really is, it's about healing you. And it doesn't now, once they're like in the past, it doesn't really have anything to do with them. And you're
yeah,
responsible for your healing. So like knowing that you're able to do that, I think is so powerful. And
yeah,
like I love I love these visual exercises. I think that's really cool. Um one of the things I like doing is just kind of like reframing and choosing like how I want to remember my memories, especially like when it comes to people, if that makes sense. And it kind of ties back into like what we were talking about earlier, where we need each version of ourselves. And sometimes you have to like be in a situation to understand that it's not for you. Like we can't always imagine everything and like choose the one right thing. And just like the overarching premise that there's not like I don't think that life is a tightrope and there's like one right step and there's only one right step every step of the way. Like, I think there's a lot more options than that that are not wrong. And I didn't used to think that, so that was an important shift. But just understanding, like, whether you spent time with somebody or even like something and you invested in that thing, and then either you were hurt by it or you understood, like, that's not for me anymore, processing that and like choosing what I want to hold on to. Like, I grew in these ways, or I learned this about myself, or yeah, I really wanted to date that guy who was a terrible idea, but I wanted to and I did. So I'm allowed to make bad decisions. Like, I survived. Even that, like, okay, like wasn't the wisest decision I ever made, but like I wanted to. So at least like there's that. Like, and looking back and like choosing how I want to remember those things and like those people, and then just kind of like moving on. I feel like it's not as like tactile as y'all's ideas, but
No.
I'm ADHD. It's real easy for me to forget people. I'll be like, oh, was that
Oh man, I'm sure a lot of people
that
listening
was
are like, I
part of my
wish I could
life? It's
forget. Yeah.
crazy.
That's funny.
No, well, it's funny because like I know someone like, that's actually something that they struggled with is that they literally blocked out a lot of their childhood, and that's a coping mechanism
That's
because of
trauma
what they
also,
went
yeah.
through. So yeah, so no.
Like you
Hey,
just like forget
sometimes,
who you were sometimes.
all right, sometimes we wish we could, right?
It's
Yeah,
so
I'm like, I
funny,
don't
trauma response. That's like a whole other thing. That's like a
Right.
whole other
talk about
topic we
so
Oh,
could
it
yeah,
talk
is.
about
It
trauma
is. It
response
is.
and how you
Uh-huh.
don't even recognize what you're doing.
yeah,
So
Gosh, yeah.
nuts.
seriously.
Yeah.
I
And
I
like,
I do
oh
want to
sorry.
point out, sorry. I do want to point out, Mary, when you were saying like how we're giving people the power over us.
And they're not even using it.
I know.
They
Like
don't
they're
even
not
care. They
using
don't even
that
think.
power. You're just giving
Yes.
it up.
Yeah, they don't
Okay,
even care
Yes.
about you.
sorry, go
You're
ahead,
good.
Shauna.
Yeah.
No, it's no, I like that you said that because that is legit the thing. Like we give them so much power by not letting the thing go, and they're totally unaware. This is a perfect example of a story that we're creating for ourselves and then giving them the power that they're holding over us.
Hmm.
And we have the power to take it back, to let it go, to rewrite the story, to do it for us. Like how Mary Beth,
Hmm.
how you were saying, like it's us. We have the power in our healing and our growth and our you don't need the other person because a lot of
Hmm.
times whether the person is still alive or not, you still have to do what you need to do in
Hmm.
order to get to the next step. Let that, animosity, hurt, resentment, any of that stuff, you have to let that go, or you're just adding another ball and chain. So you have the power to
Hmm.
release yourself and take your power back, or leave the ball and chain and, just have some power. Here, you want some too?
Hmm.
Like it's so crazy how we are totally, that is what we are in control of.
Yeah.
And yet we feel like we're so not in control of it. We can't do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can have all of those conversations, whether the person is here or not. You can still have the conversations. You don't have to have it with them, but you
Hmm.
have to have the conversation. Whether it's writing a letter, whether it's role playing with somebody else, whether it's talking to the air and you're picturing it. I don't know, print a picture of it and stick it on your
Yeah.
table and talk to the picture. Like
Yeah.
whatever it is, you have to release something by doing some type of action. Like you said, your brain doesn't know the difference. So if you're
Hmm.
doing the action, you're healing yourself through the action. And yeah, sometimes you're probably like, what am I doing right now? I'm literally talking to a picture. I did it. My dad passed away unexpectedly, and I had a lot of things that I still had to talk to him about. I had a lot of forgiving. I had a lot of what the hell situations, right? And now when they pass on, that there's like zero, zero. opportunity to have the conversation. Now, could I have had the conversation with him when he was alive? Yes. But did I take advantage of it? No, because I wasn't ready for those answers. But then when I was, he's no longer here. And in order to free myself from all of that, because I could not progress in my own life without doing the work there, I
Hmm.
did that.
Hmm.
Picture, talking, conversation. I've even wrote him letters. Like I had to figure out what I could do to have those conversations with him. And then almost like I've had those conversations with him,
Hmm.
Mhm.
right? You don't need a response back. Why? Because when you get that response back, that's validation for whatever you're searching for. And
Hmm.
sometimes it might be a good lesson or important to not get that external validation and teaching yourself to be okay in that moment and with what you did to make yourself better.
It's good.
It's almost more powerful that way because you're not getting
Yeah.
the external validation. You're getting the validation from yourself.
Yeah. I think we rely on reactions a lot more than we think we do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I don't want to like split hairs or contradict you, but like a way that helped me think of it with like giving the power away is, and you mentioned like they're not even aware of it.
Hmm.
So you're not even like giving it to them, you're just taking it from yourself and you're like putting it in a box. You're taking your power and you're putting it in a box and you're like writing their name on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
just gonna set that over there.
So like, and I like kind of like looking at it that way because I'm like it's my power the whole time and I'm just choosing not to use it.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
a it's
Ooh.
like Superman just being like pretending he doesn't have powers, right? You're just like they're not doing anything with it. It's not benefiting. Like it's literally only hurting you. And it's always been your power the whole time. And you put it in the box and you can take it back whenever you're ready.
Hmm.
So
Isn't it
I just had
mind-blowing?
to get that out.
It is.
It's true
No.
though. It's like,
And like I'm not
excuse
trying to like
me.
contradict because I know we use that phraseology all the time, but I was like that like tweaking it a little bit like blew my mind.
No,
Because
it does.
if I'm giving someone so much power over me and then I'm experiencing it as their power over me, right? And then like they're so powerful and I can't move on because like they're, they have so much space in my mind and they're doing this to me. And then I realize like I'm doing this to me.
Hmm.
Yes.
And it's like
Yes.
actually I'm really powerful. And the
Yeah.
stories I'm telling myself are really powerful and can impact my behavior and how I choose to live my life in powerful ways. So what if I just take this power that's been mine the whole fucking time and I decide to use it for good?
Yes.
You're like
Absolutely.
jumping off the overthinking wheel about that dumb shit.
Hmm. Yeah, because if not, you're just creating more suffering. I mean, it's like that. Imagine yourself like if you keep reliving the stuff that's hurting you, it's hurt you in your
Hmm.
past, like
Yeah.
you're reliving those feelings, you're reliving that emotion, and that's what you're putting out, which is why
Yeah.
it's very dangerous. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
causing you to contract all that kind of scenarios for your life. And so it is very powerful when you can see it that way and yeah, let it go. And because some people get a little upset about that. It's like, like it's not about dismissal. I want to make sure to clarify that too, because there's a
That's
difference
good.
between letting
That's
something
good.
go and being dismissing it. Because I think that's
Hmm.
something, it's almost that avoidance that some of us do, where we just like, up, I don't want to feel that, so I'm just
And
gonna
it's
put you
so
over there.
popular right
But
now.
yeah, it is. But it's like, but then again, it's still there, and sometimes after a
Mm.
time too, it grows and grows and grows and grows. Oh my goodness, have you ever seen those people who like they'll hold in their feelings about something for like weeks and then bam, they'll explode? I mean, I'm sure some of you probably can relate to that. That's because we keep dismissing that whatever that initial
Mm.
issue was or what we're feeling, we're not facing it until we just shove it, shove it, shove it, and then bam. I mean, it's gonna come out one way or another. Not in a pretty way usually.
How
That
I
is
like to say it,
such an important distinction.
Yeah.
I think I might have actually said this to both of you guys, but like how I like to say it is when there's something there that it's like a lesson. The letting go is the lesson, right? It's to teaching you to like let go. It'll come at you and it might like slap you like a piece of paper. And then time moves on and then now it's a notebook. It's going to come back and slap you like a notebook. And then you're like, psh, no, you push it aside, right? And then it comes back and now it's like a giant book. And then it comes back and now it's like a piece of wood. Like it's gonna keep circling because you have to complete the circuit. You have
Hmm.
to feel the
Yeah.
things and do the work. Like the work's just not going to go away because you shove it aside. Like, oh, I'm just going to put a blanket over that, pretend like it's not there.
Yeah.
No, it's coming out. It's going to come out. Whether it could be a year, it could be 5 years. But then when it does hit you like a 2 by 4, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you have a choice. You can either get real with yourself, like you were saying, Mary Beth, and be like, I'm in control of this. Like I did this to myself. So now we're gonna break this chain off and be free and done with it. Or you can push it aside.
Mm.
Yep.
Either way, it's a choice. But what do you want? You want to just keep getting hit harder?
Yeah.
You want to keep giving up your power and putting it in boxes because your closet's getting kind of full,
Yeah.
you know?
As someone who's had to be hit hard, pretty hard, I wouldn't recommend it. So it's
Yeah.
just,
I feel you. I feel you.
oh,
I was
I
always very
love it.
stubborn growing up, so I felt like I had to learn everything the hard way. And whew, yeah, no, I've learned to listen to those who are wiser and save myself a
Yeah.
little bit, because oh my goodness, yeah, there's a lot of us out here who are stubborn, but you have to really ask yourself at the end of the day, how badly do you want your life to change? How badly
Mm.
do you want what you
Yeah.
want? Because
Yeah.
if you really, really want it, and you're gonna have to change the way you think. You're gonna have to change the way you do stuff. You cannot just want and then keep doing the same old stuff and expecting a different outcome. It's just that is not the definition of crazy.
Yeah, nothing
So
changes if nothing changes.
changes
Right.
exactly, and
Yeah.
I know that it people say, oh, but it's just so hard, but so is your life, right? So why not do something about it that could change that to where your life would actually get easier and you would get
Hmm.
to have that experience that you've been dreaming of because it's
Yeah.
waiting on you, but not everybody's willing to do what it takes to show up for it. And I think that's what we're here for with these
Mm.
conversations
It's
and with
good.
what the work that we do is we want to help you get there. We don't
Hmm.
want you to stay in the sidelines while everyone else is living their best life. We
Hmm.
want you to
Hmm.
succeed and get what you want out of life because you deserve it and this is all we get. So why not make the best of it?
Mm. That's so good. And I love it. You're like, your life is already hard.
You know, it
I
is.
mean, let's be
But
real.
let's be real. I
Well,
mean,
we were talking last
let's
time, right, about how like life has ups and downs. Like it's not supposed to be easy.
yeah.
And even if we can do things to make our lives easier, I'm all about it. But
Yeah.
also if it's like there are going to be hard times and that's okay. So at least make it fulfilling. Like you were saying,
Yes.
Mary, like work towards something. Work toward like choose on your journey. Life is a journey. Choose a destination you want to be going towards.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
like
Well,
I think
and
so
as
often we're
you
like
yeah. Well, and
on this path.
as we grow too, if you think about it, like it's all about the new versions of ourselves and how we handle the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power right there. And that's what we're
Because they
working
come
towards because it's
back.
going to come. But the stronger you become in yourself and trusting
Mm.
yourself, loving yourself, and the beliefs that you have, when those challenges show up, man, you're going to be a boss in how you handle it. And that
Yeah.
is the part that's easier per se
Mm-hmm.
is it's not that it's going to be an easy situation, it's more of the way you handle it and
It's
respond
good.
to it, and
It's
that
good.
is ultimately the work that we're working towards
Yeah.
because like you say, life is unpredictable and it's just always going to hit the fan, and I just want us to be prepared for it in the best way possible so that
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't defeat us, like ultimately
Mm.
that's yeah.
So good.
I do want to say about something about letting go. If you are somebody that is trying this out and you are starting to do this whole process of letting things go because you want to do this journey of growth and best self and designing your life and all of that because you truly want to live it. I do want to say that you can let things go and it's not like a pressure of like, oh, is this the thing I need to let go? I don't know if I let it go. Like, it's not gone forever. Like, it's not like you let it go and then now you just made a horrible decision and now things are going bad. Like, that is not the thing. You can let go of whatever you feel to let go because what is true for you will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you let five things go and three of them are true to you and you're just like, let go, let go, let go, and you're just in your let go era and you're like doing all the things, what is true for you is going to come back to you because you are making
Mm-hmm.
space for what is true for you. So
Mm-hmm.
let that shit go. Just let it go and it's going to come back. It's going to come back. If it's for you, it's going to come back. You will have a knowing through the practice if it is true for you or not by doing it. And
Yes.
even if you let something go that's true for you, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
It's good.
And any mamas listening, I don't know if every time we keep saying it, Frozen comes in my mind. Let it
I know.
go, let it go. I love that
I
song.
can't not.
I did. Sorry, I can't help it, but it just I hear that all the time. But it's such a powerful song. If you haven't heard it,
That's
but
why we love it.
yes, I know, right? It is. Sorry, that was just something I,
I
I
love it
couldn't
how we
help.
go
I
to
was,
Disney
I'm a
movies.
huge
I
fan of it.
So
know.
great.
It took everything within me not to sing it, so I'm glad I
Right?
Me
did.
too. I couldn't. I've been resisting like the whole episode. I was like, oh, I got to, man. It's
We had
it's
to.
so in
Now
It
we
there.
know
was
what
gonna
song's going to be
happen.
stuck in our head for the rest
I
of
know.
the day.
Truly,
You're
truly.
welcome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I also wanted to
Yes.
come back to what you were saying, Mary, about how like denial is not letting it go. And I think like that's why I got like so hyped up because you hear it's like so popular right now where people are talking about like cutting people off and like avoidance and like I love to avoid things. I'm working on shifting into a new identity where that's not me anymore. But like I was the biggest avoider for the longest time. And it's like not only does it bottle up and then you explode, and if you're anything like me, you're an asshole to people who have nothing to do with the real problem. Um, but also it still takes your energy. Like you're still dealing with it. You're still holding up that wall. You're still burying so you can put your head in the stand. Like it's still taking energy, so it's still there. You haven't let it go. Like you're still actively dealing with it. And so like I love that you brought it up because I think that it's so important. And I think there's a total difference, like you were saying, between dismissal or like, because I think you can cut someone off and let them go. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you can never cut people off. Um, but like there's a way to do it. And like y'all were talking well, we all were talking about like at the beginning, right? It's a process and you have to like deal with it and work through it and like actually let it go. And that and yeah, it'll like things circle back, right? And like the universe will, bring a reminder back or whatever, and you're like, nope, yeah, let that go. Like we're still good. So it's not that you like never deal with it again, but it's so different than like avoiding or denial or just like pretending something just
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with that anymore because you actually still are and it's still there. And I think like that is the reason that I love letting go so much because like when you let the things go that aren't for you, then you get to step into the things that are, right? Like we only have so much capacity, just like you only have so much time or energy or money. Like you can only do so much at one time, right?
Yeah.
So when you're letting go of the things that aren't for you, you're literally creating more space for what is. Like Shauna's example of the ball and chain, right? Like you're gonna fill up all your belt loops, with all your carabiners or ball and chains eventually, or you're gonna be so weighed down that like you literally can't progress anymore. Like we can only do so much,
Yeah.
and so I think just like we have such like a maximalist society. It's like there's already so much. I feel like we're already kind of set on a path from children, like just the way we were raised, right? And so you have to consciously decide and be like, wait, do I want to go here? Like, do I want to
Yeah.
keep these balls and chains that my parents so lovingly passed on to me? Or do I want to like let them go? Like we're already in the process by the time we kind of gain that consciousness and realize like, oh shit, like I have all these things that I'm carrying,
Yeah.
and then you get to decide what you want to let go. And then as we let stuff go, then we get to decide like
Yeah.
what we want to invest in and what we want to take on, like now that we finally have space.
Oh,
I would love to hear like because I love like what am I trying to say? Like a good illustration. So if either one of you or both of you have stories about like something you've let go and you can see now, like I feel like hindsight's 2020, right? And you can like see now what it created space for. If you want to share, I think that would be just like so powerful for our listeners to have that like clear illustration. And I'll start because last time my first question just like dumped it on you guys, and I was like,
I
I
love
could
it.
be a better host. So for me, like I have been kind of on a letting go journey for a while, and that's part of why I love this topic because I just don't do a lot of things. But it was like so I already was feeling pretty good and like felt like I was doing a pretty good job of like letting stuff go and like society's expectations, like not having kids, like no no no. And then like I went on a trip last year, and it was like a not a new level. Kind of like Shauna was saying, like when you need to learn a lesson, like it keeps coming back, like stronger and stronger. And then also like I think life in general is just cyclical. And so even as like if you learn a lesson and you like pass the level, you still like there's still another level.
Hmm.
And so it's like something I felt like I was doing pretty good at. And then going on like a solo trip, it was like even more an opportunity to let go of worrying about what other people think, letting go of the urge to be productive all the time, letting go of like being defined by what I'm doing. And then that like really allowed me to step into caring more about who I was being and who I was becoming. And like it's sounds super basic, I know. But for me, it was like a really eye-opening experience, and I loved being able to see the correlation of like letting go of doing allowed me to make space for being, and I have like literally more capacity and energy to invest into who am I becoming and who am I being as a person instead of being so busy with what am I doing.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that
Thank
story.
you, I loved it.
Yes. Oh my God, it's awesome. Because it's that gives people who, even talk about going on a date with themselves, like by themselves. Like you're right. This is
Yeah.
there's such a thing about that, but it's like good for you. It's and you're getting an experience. Like I mean,
Yes.
that's what it's all about, right? The experiences that we can create. So yeah, I think that's a incredible, incredible example. I'm trying to think for me, like I feel like one of the things that's kind of popped up in my head was I used to struggle. I don't know if anyone here can relate. In the mornings when I would first wake up, I feel like my mind would immediately go to all the stress of that day,
Mm,
of what's going on, what I'm upset about, what happened yesterday, or what. And it was through some work that guy, because I used to be like that, where I kind of did this. At first, I kind of shoved it, like, go away. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it. Trying to force myself to stop thinking about it. And
mm,
it almost like got louder and louder and louder over time to the point where I couldn't go back to sleep sometimes. Like I'd get up at 3 in the morning, I'd toss and turn like the rest of the night trying to avoid these thoughts.
mm,
And so that's when it kind of goes into the avoidance things too. But one of these days when I was actually a guest on my podcast, we were having a conversation and she helped me to understand that, that I was even doing that. That,
yeah.
she's like, instead, don't try to fight it off. Listen to her and see
Mm,
and allow her to kind of have her little like moment, but then gently like love on that. Like love her
mm,
and be like, it's okay, and allow yourself to reframe into like more positive thoughts and reframe some of these ideas and stuff that was bothering me. And
mm,
it's just something that, not a big deal, but it was something for me that was a big deal because it kept me from sleeping. It kept me, and they say the first couple of seconds, your thoughts will dictate the rest of your day. So I did realize like the power of these negative thoughts that haunted me and how it
mm,
was following me throughout my day and how my body felt and how I dreaded things and how I
mm,
had this stress, even if things were not going so bad. So
mm,
yeah, I think it's very powerful when we allow ourselves to, again, stop avoiding it, but like learn how to gently and lovingly let it go.
mm,
And then allow ourselves to give ourselves that space instead for like now I wake up and I jump into positive ideas and I have like these certain affirmations that I get to wake up and say
mm.
that I'm not bombarded with all the loudness of the negativity that used to haunt me because I try to avoid it so much. So anyways, that's a little something that popped in my head that I feel like was very powerful in me, letting things go.
Yeah, I love that.
For me, mine is different from you guys.
Ooh,
So
I love different.
when stuff goes on for me, whether it's like scenarios and situations or bad things, I'll give you an example. So I was renting this house and like I had two very young children. Like one of them was under 1 and the other one was under 3. And then I had a 9-year-old. And all the pipes started to burst in this house. And there was water damage everywhere. And for me, when I get into situations like that, I jump into it's probably a trauma response, honestly, but like I jump into like I have to have a plan, I have to fix it, like plan the thing. This is what we're gonna do, step, 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 just check, check, check. Like do like I get in the whole over planning, over fixing mode, which is actually avoiding the lesson. Instead of stopping and do I really need to have an answer and a plan right now? Like, yes, this is a big deal. Yes, the pipes are bursting and the landlord is, I don't know how I can say this. Um, he was trying to basically like fix it in his like duct tape fashion. This was years ago.
Oh boy.
And it was not, the people that came to drain the water out of the house, they were like giving me a notification because they couldn't really talk to me about anything because I wasn't the owner, but they saw me with children and they're giving me this notification about black mold this and black mold that. And I'm like, they're trying to tell me something here. And so I'm like, something has to be done. Something has to be done here. And for me, I had to let go of hurry up. I need to find the answer. I need to find the answer. I need to do this. I need to, I need to fix this. I need to have a plan. We need to do something. They're giving me this black mold thing. And I'm like, yeah, I could respond that way. Is that me responding? No, that is not. That is fear. That is anxiety. That is my freaking dragon coming in and just trying to swoop all over my life and having it be more hard, more balls and chains, all the things on top of it, right? And instead, I took a second. What is? Yes, the pipes, there's water damage, there is black mold. We need to leave this house. I made the decision like we need to leave this house. Where we're going to go from here, I don't know, but what is the next step? Do we move into a house? Do we move into an apartment? What is good for us? And then stop. Not plan, 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 do the things and like let go of the expectation that I needed to have a whole friggin' plan because I had,
Mm,
a family and all the things and we have to do this and rush, rush, rush and panic mode anxiety. I wanted to make a grounded decision that was correct.
mm,
And so for me creating the space for the answer instead of quickly like fixing it, I'm not going to go weeks and not do anything like I'm not finding the answer. Like I'm not avoiding the answer. I'm creating the space for the answer to come to me.
mm,
And there's one day where I'm driving through my neighborhood and there's always this house that I drove by. And I remember thinking, like, every time I drove by, I'm like, man, that's a lot. There's a lot of trees on that property. How do they do that? Just like it was always kind of like caught my attention. And this one day I was driving by and it was like a magnetic pull for whatever reason was pulling me towards this house. And I'm like, what is that? And I was like, oh, wait, what is that? There's a sign in there. There's a sign in the grass. And I like read it and it said for rent, blah, blah, blah. And it was like saying all this stuff. And it was like, I just got this overwhelming feeling of yes. Was that really telling me what to do? No. But I'm like, okay,
mm.
I'll call it. I'll figure it out. I call, and then it was like fall into place, fall into place, fall into place. And then within 30 days, I'm moving out of that house and I'm moving into the one that pulled me towards it and all of that because I let go of the expectation, having to fix it, being frantic, blah, blah, blah. Because I let that go and created space and allowed the answer to come to me,
Yeah.
it gave it to me.
Yeah.
Mm,
I
Oof.
could see it, I could hear it, I could feel it in
Mhm.
my body.
mm,
Yeah.
And if I would have been in that mode of blah, 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 I got to do this, and I'm not going to feel nothing. I'm not feeling
mm.
that. And that's also something that we have. Like when you let go of things, it's like cleaning out a closet. You create the space for something else to come in there. So if you let go of that, expectation of what I need to be doing and more and more and more and push through whatever, no, this
Yeah.
is what I need to do. What is the next step and allowing it to come in. It was not even it was like 3 days, I think, after I asked the question.
Mm.
Wow. That's awesome. That's funny. See, yeah, everything has a way of working out. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, just
I
gotta
love how
like,
in retrospect 3 days is not long at all, but I'm sure in the moment, if you
Yeah.
would have been spiraling for three
yeah.
days
Oh
trying to get,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man.
Those are awesome stories. Thank you so much for sharing. I loved this conversation today, so I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and wrap up. And before we do we want to go ahead and share where people can find you?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm marydibblecoaching.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me, but if you want to go to my website, that's where my podcast and everything is and everything I offer. So yeah, come find me, come reach out and tell me what you thought.
Love it.
You can find me on my website or my podcast. My website is igniteddecisions.com and my podcast is Release Your Inner Power Podcast. I hang out in both of those places.
Love it. I don't have a website because, but I am at the Fierce Framework. That is my podcast. That's my social media handle. So the Fierce Framework.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. I love this conversation. Always lovely to chat
Yes,
with you. And I hope
always.
that we helped some listeners out there. If you want to share your story, please reach out. I love to have conversations about this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Bye.